Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Election Brief. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, on all our social media platforms and around the world at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, and we know that election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. My name is Faustina Safo. We'll be back with details, so stay tuned in. Thanks for choosing us for your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now, improving accessibility, enhancing social inclusion, and promoting equal opportunities for persons living with disabilities. That's the hope of many individuals with disabilities who share their experiences with us during our Just Turned 18 engagement at the University of Ghana. Among these people and their hopes, one specific request stood out: the call for free tertiary education for persons living with disability. Emmanuel Noviami is proof that support is needed. He is visually impaired and he works as a fisherman while on vacation to support his education. This is a short story about the urgent need for a more robust support system for students with disability.
I am the overall boss of the life.
Imagine a visually impaired student who relies on fishing for his upkeep. This is the reality of Emmanuel Noviama.
Without work, he cannot feed.
A final year senior high student of Adidome Senior High School.
Oh, just to get something.
Emmanuel was first introduced to the news team by his friend, Foster Kudese, who is also visually impaired, on the Just Turned 18 show. Foster said, without further support, his friend's dream of attending university might remain just that, a dream.
I have a friend too in Adidome Senior High School who is a visually impaired. He has to go for fishing before he can come to school. If not, he, for instance, cannot attend university.
Emmanuel's story is a reminder of the barriers that exist for students with disabilities. The two major political parties promised to introduce a scholarship for tertiary students with disabilities. For now, the promise for a free tertiary education scholarship for persons with disabilities will remain a proposal. But for students like Emmanuel, it could be the key to unlocking a brighter future. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
Oh, Charlie should tell others that there is more blessing in work than stealing.
Well, the NPP has a plan for persons living with disabilities, and Deputy General Secretary of the party, Hara Muhammad, will join us shortly as we analyze the party's manifesto proposition. But first, here's flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, as he tables down his plan for persons with disabilities.
We will introduce a free tertiary scholarship for persons with disability, to remove the financial barriers to pursuing their educational goals. On scholarships, we will integrate the scholarship databases across all the public sector institutions managing such schemes to ensure full visibility and transparency. We will expand eligibility for the student loan scheme to include all post-secondary students, including certificate and diploma programs.
Well, Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Hara Muhammad, thankfully joins us live with more. Hara, thank you for your time here on Election Brief. Now, first off, you plan to extend NHI coverage to include special needs for persons with albinism. Could you elaborate on the specific healthcare services that will be added under the extended coverage?
Thank you very much, Faustina. I think that the MPP is the only political party in Ghana that has demonstrated that level of encouragement in terms of inclusion in our society. The advent of President Kufuor's era, where we have been able to make education at the lower level free. We also added on so many other social interventions in terms of capitation, in terms of school feeding and other policies that we have been able. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo came to build upon that by introducing the free senior high school policy. And His Excellency the Vice President is telling us that we are going to implement what we call the free tertiary education for persons with disability. That tells you that there is that level of integrity, there is that level of transparency and belief that we can actually do what has been said. You asking about our inclusion of albinos into the National Health Insurance Scheme. Not only that, we are going to also revamp the free maternal health care, which has resulted into people who are attending free senior high school today are from the free maternal health care, which President Kufuor introduced. And I believe that persons with this albino are not just left to the natural instance, but we should be able to get a certain level of treatment to be able to help them get out of some of these particular situations. You can see some of them in the afternoon, in the hot afternoons, they are not able to see and all that. They need a special need assistance in terms of health delivery. And adding them to the National Health Insurance Scheme is something that is very innovative and stay true to the core of the foundation of the New Patriotic Party. Not only that, we are also going to recruit more special need teachers who will be teaching in sign languages and other things that will also help persons with disability to be able to be more educated. A more educated society is something that also enhances the human capital or the human resource of our country. And we believe that not necessarily that if you are disabled, it is an inability. It is not so. They can do anything that can help the state. We eventually live into an era that we can even have a person with disability who is the president or the vice president of this republic. And I believe that there is enough essence for us to support them.
Well, your manifesto proposes free tertiary education scholarship for persons with disabilities. I'm concerned about how this scholarship will be administered and what steps will be taken to ensure its effective rollout.
Yes, Faustina, well, it will interest you to know that before we put this particular policy on paper and to be announced by our very innovative, respected flag bearer of our party, we have taken data of persons with disability in terms of the areas of disability, those who are deaf and dumb, those who have issues with the sightseeing and all that. We've taken data. We went through the population and housing census. We have been able to accumulate this particular data to tell us who at what age will reach the state of going to the tertiary institution on all that. So we have made critical analysis of this and has formed a baseline that is informing the decision that we are going to do. And mind you, this policy that we are introducing is not just for university students, it's for tertiary education. Tertiary education here means that university, polytechnics, colleges of education, and all institutions that run tertiary programs. That is what we mean. So all categories of disability is going to be given this opportunity. So we are not going to be discriminatory in terms of the level of disability. It's going to be all these persons with disability who are in that particular category. We have had meetings with the various associations within the persons with disability, and this has already been discussed. Remember, we had talked about the recruitment of persons with disability who were with the road tools. We have recruited about 283 of them under the YEA, and they are being paid salaries that is 4 or 5 times of what they were taking at the toll booth. So we think that we have to give more opportunity to persons with disability. That is going to help develop this country and harness our resources.
So you mean persons with hearing impairment and visual impairment would benefit from this facility you made mention on, not the deaf and dumb. Now, you also mentioned increasing the capitation grant to special needs schools. I'm quite interested, how much of an increase are we looking at? Can you share specifics?
Yes, this is a policy document now. We have put together to ensure that when we get the nod, we are going to increase the capitation looking at the number of special needs schools available to us as a nation, it will now become a discussion at Cabinet. Cabinet will look at that particular discussion to form the basis of a budget for that particular year. So when it forms the basis for the budget for that particular year, then it will be captured in the budget, and the percentage and the quantum of money that is going to be used for that particular assistance will be very specific. We have always believed that it is not for us to just come and say sweet things, tell you that this is the percentage, this is what we are going to do. We are thinking through what we want to do. And in that particular instance, we make sure that we speak what exactly we'll be able to do. So we are not just here to tell you the percentage, but to tell you that this is a policy that we have put together. And when it gets the cabinet approval in terms of the percentage, we'll tell you the scope at which this particular policy is going to be implemented.
You also plan to set quotas for recruiting persons with disabilities into the public sector. How will these quotas be enforced? What would be the mechanisms put in place to monitor the progress?
Yes, indeed. We have always seen that persons with disability have not always been given equal opportunities when it comes to public service recruitment. So in the thinking of the framers of this particular manifesto and the vision of His Excellency, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, we are going to make sure that in every public institution that we are going to do recruitment, some quotas will be set aside for specifically for persons with disability, because disability is not an inability. And virtually we'll be able to give them much opportunities to do. Remember, not recently we have the Minister of Chieftaincy, and this has also helped to reshape and make sure that a lot of things have been done to be able to build upon. Look at the Minister of Chieftaincy contribution to the resolution in the Gbande crisis. So you will see that there is something that we have to do, and we need to make sure that we create an equal opportunity to be able to make it done. You can remember that the Affirmative Action Bill has always been on the decks of the successive government. It has to take a bold precedent in Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo to be able to pass it into law. And if you check our manifesto critically, we are saying that we are going to implement this affirmative action to its fullest, to make sure that at least we give the vulnerable in society, we take care of the children, we take care of the women in our society, to be able to bring everybody up to date, so that we will be able to build a nation called Ghana that we all have to live in and make various changes that is going to be very positive for all of us.
And that takes me to my next question, really. You promised to remedy the shortcomings of the current Disability Act with the proposed Persons with Disability Bill. I would like you to highlight some of the key areas of improvement in this new bill that your party is proposing.
For the Persons with Disabilities Bill, remember, it is still a bill that is going to be passed. It is going through the appropriate stages of parliamentary approval, and these additions that we are putting through is to make sure that the distribution of the common fund that is assigned in the Persons with Disabilities fund within the assembly system will be given a very specific and well-to-do action plan criteria that is going to execute that to make sure that persons with disability actually gets the benefit that they desire. We're also looking at making sure that skill areas and these artisanal jobs and what have you, where we can be able to tap in to make sure that persons with disability get the needed assistance. But the major aspect is the releases and getting to directly to the persons with disability to ensure that it is used for the purpose of which that is being released for. So we are working on that, and we are hoping to get this one to also pass. Remember, we are done with the Right to Information Bill, which has been sitting on the desk. The media has always been knocking on the doors of successive government to get this done. It's done under us. We have also been able to get the Affirmative Action Bill done. That tells you that we'll be able to do with the Persons with Disability Bill, and they should be rest assured that this government is going to be more inclusive and more supportive to the persons with disability.
You also made mention of providing access to transportation for persons with disabilities. I'm quite concerned on how you plan to implement this, because we already have existing public transportation that do not factor them into the structure of the bus. Tell us more about that.
Yes, what we are trying to do currently is that we are going to introduce electronic pass system. This electronic pass system is coming to help in terms of this fuel usage and what have you within our transport system. Before this buses comes in, we are going to make sure that the features for persons with disability is going to be considered, so that at least at the utmost of points, these persons with disabilities will be able to have access, will be very convenient, and be very accessible to them. So we are going to introduce this. Once we are going to introduce news buses into the system, we must be very mindful of persons with disability. And that is why we are saying that we are going to introduce and to ensure persons with disability are not disadvantaged when it comes to public transport systems.
Hara Muhammad, Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, thank you for your time here on Election Brief. Let's do some other stories and a reaction to the NPP's manifesto. The opposition National Democratic Congress has described the NPP manifesto as empty and lacking policies to ease the burdens of suffering Ghanaians. Flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, on Sunday launched his youth-centered manifesto at Takoradi. However, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustapha Gbande, in an interview with John News, said the manifesto portrays a group of people who have lost touch with the needs of the people.
When Ghanaian businesses are collapsing, people cannot longer bear the economic hardship. People can no longer take care of their children and their families. Should they wait and keep dying until 2025 when we have a government in place? Have they suspended governance?
Well, let me hold you there because we have a lot more to discuss on this.
Finally.
All right.
Finally.
I'll give you that.
If you go and take every single budget of this government since they came to power in 2016, most of the things that you find in this document can be found in those budgets. And they have not fulfilled them. They have stopped the money. If you recall, one village, one dam. Today, it's a financial loss to the state. Monies have been spent. If you look at cathedral projects, today monies have been spent. It's a financial loss to the state. Dr. Bawumia is talking about no e-levy. You remember the massive campaign and involvement of the vice president as far as this e-levy is concerned. If there is any commitment or credibility to what they are saying, let them remove the e-levy tomorrow, then we can have a serious conversation.
All right. But
that is not the case. So, again, it's just a group of people who are of deception, a group of people who are dishonest, a group of people who are insincere, a group of people who don't even appreciate what is happening to the ordinary Ghanaians. Yet people are hungry, they say we are satisfied. People are dying, they say we are alive. We cannot even get health care. But yet they say that they have given you and I health care. Let us subject to scrutiny, and you'll find out that there's nothing stated in that document that they are committed to.
Well, some young headquarters who are first-time voters cite the lack of poor jobs and poor living conditions as reason for leaving home in the north. As the election approached, they are demanding better opportunities from politicians back home to avoid the harsh conditions they endure here in Accra. Lois Shola Deyemi interacts with them in our latest episode of GSN 18.
Do you want government to help you with?
The government to provide some works at our place so that we will not come here to come and be doing the kaya again.
All right. Now, you said you want they have introduced 2 hostels as part of the Kayayo Empowerment Plan. They have introduced 2 hostels for Kayayes, and they're also training over 5,000 people. They've started with 500. Isn't that good news for you? And does that work, or do you still want more?
We still want more, so that they will create some jobs over our end, over there. So if you are not continue your education, you should be doing any job. They should create jobs, so that if you are not going to school, you can be employed there, doing small, so that you get some money.
All right, so Rabiatu, she's saying that there are jobs in here, even though you've heard that it's good news, you want some in the north for yourself, so that you don't have to come here. Is that what I'm hearing?
I like to go back to school, because when I'm going to school, now that I went to SS, I feel like if I, like you people, I feel you, if I become one of you like this, I feel it a lot. So me too, I want to go to school. I want to go to school.
All right. Now, Rama, would you choose school, or just as I asked, the government has implemented or has introduced hostels for Kayayes? Is that enough? What else do you want?
No, it's not enough. and then I want to go back to school, and then they should look for work for us. Like Bawumia is doing this. Some of us, we didn't hear it cry. If you are not saying like that, we didn't hear like Bawumia do something. We didn't hear something like that.
Right. So they said that even though Bawumia has introduced the hostels, you want more and you want some in the north. Do you also want that too?
Oh, I also want to go to the school. Even when I hear your voice cry, I feel if no school, the English I can speak. So I also want to go to the school. If no school, I can speak English. So as I like this cry, I can speak well. But if I go through further education more, I can speak more and speak with public people. So I want to go to the school.
How about jobs? Don't you want more jobs, especially in the north? Because all of you have said that there are no jobs in the north. So what about jobs?
We want job, we really want it. But some of us too, we want to further our education. And we want to be maybe nurse. And we look, we take care of our parents.
What do you want to be?
Nurse. I want to take care of my parents at home. If they are sick, if they went to hospital, I will not collect them money. Because of financial problem, I will just take care of them without taking anything.
Rebranding of Ashaman is high on the agenda for the NPP as the frontage of the municipality is set to be transformed into a world-class park for global events, and the road from Ashaman traffic light to Zenu will be dualized to ease vehicular movement. Now, this pledge comes from NPP parliamentary candidate Justice King SL, who is advocating for the rebranding of Ashaman. His transformative agenda focuses on 3 key areas: economy, education, and environment.
I've missed a lot of things that I'll put into human and physical development. These 4 things are education, under the human capital development. We'll look at our economy to help our market women to be able to rebrand their work in a way that they can sell on social media and get orders from beyond Ashama. Our environment, we'll look at our beautification of our environment, look at the housing system, we'll look at sanitation, all under that, plus security. Then our health, we'll make sure our hospitals have been equipped with diagnostic machines that can help us be able to treat patients better. Let me say overall, the Ashama had to open up. And in the time of KKT, we managed to get the overhead that leaked Tema to Ashama traffic light. We need to carry that through to Katamanso. We need to get a dual carriage that will run across that place to open up Ashama further. Once we have done that, then that means that there will be a dual carriage from the Tima Market area to Ajokojo. Then we have this other one that leads also to Katamanso and beyond. Once we do that, we are opening Ashama. Those will be some of the things that we want to focus on. Another thing I'll do on the environment, like I said, is to do the beautification. When you are entering to Ashama from the motorway area, Ashama looked a bit more like a slum, but there are very beautiful places in Ashama. We want to transform that area from the China Mall area, stretching to the Ajokojo enclave, make it a park, beautiful park. People can sit in the space. There'll be greenish in the place. There'll be paved, where we can have events, playground. People can move from even Tema to come into the space to come and sit there, to just let people understand that Ashama is a beautiful place. We need to rebrand Ashama in whatever form. Possibly, we'll get 1 or 2 fountains in the space to make Ashama have that new look and that beautification. We'll also be able to do under beautification, ensure that every area of our frontage is giving that kind of serene look. We'll redesign entry into all our entry posts, give it some kind of some new architectural feel with monuments that tell our history and make us look at not as the bad people that they say, but people who have gone on to do greater things. As we can see already in the music, in the business field, there are a lot of people who came from Ashama who are in places who find a way of using our entry points to be able to showcase some of the good things about Ashama.
Well, the NPP parliamentary candidate for Ningo Pram, Michael Tertiary, has criticized two-term MP Samuel Nate George for failing to bring development to the constituency. Speaking at a peace project event organized by Assemblies of God Church Mission Sanctuary at PS Global, Tertiary expressed confidence that he would defeat Sam George by over 40,000 votes, citing the NPP's strong performance in the constituency. Carlos Caloni has the rest of the story.
The Peace Project event held at the Assemblies of God Church at PS Global Gate 2 was filled with prayers and worship as the church united political party activists to promote peace ahead of the elections. Project lead Lydia Kumson told the media that the goal is to preach peace to ensure the elections remain peaceful before, during, and after.
On several occasions, I have witnessed where there has been chaos at polling stations, and people actually don't understand that we need to have peace even whilst having our elections. What I want to achieve at the end of this program is that at least when we are done with elections, we don't have to hear that people died or people got injured or maybe some other dangerous or incidents happened through election.
The NPP's Ningo Pram parliamentary candidate criticizes two-term MP Samuel Nate George for failing to bring development to the constituency, arguing that Sam George's absence from the area disconnects him from the people's struggles.
NDC doesn't.
Well, let's take you back to our earlier story as we were looking at the NPP promises for people living with disability. Now, we have potential beneficiaries of this promise joining us via Zoom. First is Esther Boydu. She is a student of the University of Ghana. She is visually impaired. Thank you for your time here on Election Brief. I also have Foster Kudise. He is president of Students with Special Needs at the University of Ghana. Thank you for your time here on Election Brief. I'll start with you, Esther. What was your initial reaction when you heard the NPP Manifesto promises?
Okay, good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon, Esther. I'm hoping you can hear me.
Hello?
I can hear you, Esther. Please make your point.
Okay, so when I heard this policy, free tertiary education for persons living with disability, I was full of joy because it is going to help a lot of people. There are a lot of people at home, they've completed senior high with good grades, but their financial status is really poor. So bringing this policy, I know it's the best and it's going to ensure the quality education of persons living with disability.
Now, let me bring in Foster. You are president of Students with Special Needs. Tell us your initial reaction to the NPP's manifesto. Are you satisfied with the key policies they are proposing?
Hello.
I can hear you loud and clear, Foster.
Okay, good afternoon and good afternoon to your listeners. I'm very happy about it because, as Esther said, most of our friends are still at home because of financial constraint. They are unable to come to the university, so I'm very happy about their manifesto.
Thank you, Foster and Esther, for sharing your thoughts with us. That's it for Election Brief. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Faustina Safo. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.